Guys, this is the first thing I'm recording on my new MacBook in Logic Pro. Holy shit. I'm still like, I spent like half an hour just now trying to get used to Logic Pro a little bit. I'm still not used to it. It's so weird. Still gonna take some practice. See, what's really frustrating is that I had like a whole day that I spent on Final Cut, just like trying to learn it a little bit. And I think it went really well. But then because I didn't have anything, to use that practice on, I've like forgotten everything again now. And it's very frustrating. I need some kind of video to edit. Which is not to say that you should expect any videos, like real videos, edited videos. But yeah, still, I really want that. I really want something to practice with. Yeah. One big thing, obviously, that hopefully you're gonna hear now is the audio quality generally should sound a lot better because I have to use way less noise reduction or anything like that. Because, like, wait, sorry. I can't even hear the MacBook right now. I don't even know if the fans are on, to be honest. Like, it's whisper fucking quiet, which was not the case with my shitty laptop. It's already made streaming so much fucking nicer. Even though, streaming on Mac generally is a little bit janky because a lot of the software just isn't made for Mac, really. Like, it's not really... Like, OBS has a Mac version, but clearly, like, it's, like, not as many people use it as fucking the Windows version. See, and that's, I mean, so the transition from me... it's a bad way to put it. Moving from Windows to Mac, that's what I would like to talk about today, because I've never had a Mac. And it's been a very interesting experience, and I guess, like, it kind of fits because, like, you know, it's the reason why a lot of shit is, like, super delayed now with the Patreon. I'm sorry about that. By the way, yeah, I'm changing the name of whatever this is from bonus videos to Magenta Monthly. Or Monthly Magenta? I think Magenta Monthly, yeah. I think that's what I wanted to go with. See, I already changed, I think, the titles of all the videos on YouTube, the video versions. It's all part of, like, my secret fucking master plan that I'm hopefully gonna put into effect, like, very soon. Hopefully, like, this month. Hopefully it doesn't take longer than this month. I want to have, like, a big-ass, meaty update video on the channel. Explaining a lot of the same shit that I did in my recent Patreon post that hopefully you read. And how I'm gonna move forward with the channel from there. Because I know what I'm gonna do now. I just need to do it. Yeah. By the way, I talked about it on Twitter a little bit, but I'm remembering right now, the last fucking Let's Argue that I recorded, I wasn't really planning, like, I had it edited a little bit. I actually worked on it, like, this year or late last year. I think it was this year. I actually edited some of it, like, this year, like, trying to release it. And that's great and all, right? Even though I wasn't, like, I got, like, second thoughts about it, like, the more I was working on it, kind of. But it's not gonna come out now because I fucking smashed the hard drive that was on. I just fucking destroyed the hard drive. Not intentionally, obviously, it was an accident. I talked about it on Twitter, but, like, oh my god, that was, like... I don't want to say that was one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. That's kind of dramatic. But it was very bad. It was very fucking annoying. By the way, yeah, like Logic is showing everything in like bars and beats, and obviously, you know, it's fucking made with music in mind. But I'm making a fucking podcast. Ah, there we go. It's really nice to see the playhead move at like this really smooth 60 FPS. Was not used to that from Audition. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I guess this is a good launching off point. So, laptop, the Windows laptop, the fucking Asus gaming laptop that I had that I bought for college specifically, sort of with the idea that I need something like relatively powerful to run fucking Unity on and Unreal and shit like that, right? For that, it was actually, you know, like generally the laptop was fine, right? Like the performance was fine, whatever. It's just that, couple issues that you're just gonna have with a laptop, with a Windows laptop in general. The battery is gonna fucking kill itself, in a couple months. Like, I got the laptop, August, I want to say, was it 2019? Must have been 2019, yeah. And already, like, I turn it on today because I'm selling it on eBay, right? And, like, I just wanted to do one last check, kind of. The battery was at 80%, and it told me it's gonna last, like, less than 2 hours. Like, now that I'm using this MacBook, that seems fucking ridiculous. But I know for a Windows laptop, it's just normal, right? That's just a normal amount of time. But then also just like the fact if you have a dedicated graphics card on a laptop, it's not fucking worth it at all. It is just not worth it. Because just the amount of fucking hassle that you're gonna have getting like games or just any kind of software to actually see your graphics card is not fucking worth it. It's so fucking soul crushing. Like, I had so many problems with Unity, especially, like, just not getting the fucking playback thing to work at all, and just the thing always crashing for me because I couldn't see my graphics card for a while. I fixed a lot of those problems over time. But still, it was like the worst, and just even getting games to run on it was very frustrating. Where I knew a game should be able to run on my graphics card, it just didn't see the graphics card, so it wouldn't run, right? Now I realize that's a weird thing to get hung up about, because on Mac, obviously, you can't play games at all, for the most part. But still, like, if I'm sort of... if I'm getting, like, a laptop sort of based on the idea that it's gonna play some games, that's a huge indictment against it, you know? If it doesn't actually do that in the end. So those are just, like, general Windows fucking laptop things you're gonna have to keep in mind if you get one of those. But it's also just over time that, like, I just had one period where the laptop started crashing like fucking crazy, and I don't know what the reason was. My only choice, see, like, that whole thing was sort of happening just before our most recent semester project. Like, I had a couple weeks where the laptop was just crashing like crazy, and I knew, oh fuck, we need to do our project soon, and I need to do it on this laptop. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna reinstall Windows, like, completely. So that I have, like, a clean slate to do the project on, right? And then when I did that, I consciously did not install any of the drivers that ASUS recommends to you. Because I didn't want to leave, like, any chance of, like, anything fucking up, right? And I got through it kind of that way, right? Like, as unscathed as possible. But it was still a fucking pain in the ass, especially because one of those drivers that's really complicated to install, and like there's a billion different versions of it, and it's really frustrating. It lets you control the speed of your fans. And that was like the big thing that I was struggling with, right? Like that I mentioned in every fucking video and every fucking stream, that I could just not control the fans at all, and that they would just randomly kick in. Fuck, man. Oh, that's like, just like thinking about it is giving me PTSD, dude. Like, it was all of that, sort of plus the realization, fuck, this thing is heavy as shit, it's really big, it's not very portable, right? It's something that I really didn't appreciate when I bought it. You know, I thought, like, I don't care if it's, like, easy to carry around, you know, like, I'd rather have, like, a good amount of power, right? But now I'm like, fuck, like, for as much as I need a laptop with me at all times on the go, like, at my job, for example, for as, like, empowering as that makes me feel, not empowering, empowered, like, just having something that's not just your phone is awesome, right? Like, just having something that's not just having a legit computer with you at all times, that's lit. But the weight needs to, like, play along with that, you know? And I realized, fuck, I really underestimated that aspect of it, right? So that was one thing. And then, sort of the final thing was just Adobe software, right? On Windows, obviously DaVinci Resolve is coming up, and Affinity whatever is coming up, right? Like, those are like new fucking alternatives to Photoshop and to Premiere and all that stuff that a lot of people are starting to get into, and that's great. But like, they're not the industry standard, and they're still like not quite there yet, I think, from what I hear. Yeah, I just realized, fuck, man, I'm paying so much goddamn money for Adobe software, and I use it a lot, right? I do need it. I do need something like that. But I just know I never really thought about it actively, right? With Apple. But I just overheard this conversation one time, like, yeah, like, if you fucking buy Logic or Final Cut or whatever, you just have them. You just have them forever, right? And I was like, what? Just hearing that was, like, before I was even, like, struggling with the laptop and all that, right? That was the point where the seed got planted, where I first realized, oh, fuck, I think I want a Mac. And I got the Mac now, selling the laptop. Yeah, those were my three big reasons, right? The number one, the reliability. Number two, the portability. Number three, the software. And yeah, like I said, I'm using Logic Pro right now to record this. Obviously for a fucking stupid podcast, like, I could just use, like, fucking, actually, even Audacity, it would be such a pain in the ass now I'm thinking about it. I had, like, the free version of Ableton, that was kind of janky on Windows. Maybe I should try it on Mac. But, like, Logic seems fine for what I'm doing, and, like, I mean, the cool thing on Logic that I always hear is that, like, it has a lot of shit bundled into it already. A lot of fucking samples and a lot of effects and stuff. So I'm excited to dig into that. I always, like, our audio fucking tasks in school are surprisingly extensive, so it's gonna pay off, I think, to have Logic available. And then, yeah, Final Cut as well. Like, I'm already, like, really used to it, and the performance is great. Like, somehow, on my stupid-ass gaming laptop, I was, like, a couple of weeks ago, I posted this, just this little meme thing where I cut a scene from the new Spider-Man game to, like, a Charlie XCX song. And, like, that was, like, 30 seconds, and it was fucking horrible to do that in Premiere somehow. Like, I don't know what it was. I think Premiere just didn't like the footage that I had. But it was just chugging like crazy, and it made it impossible to cut. And I think, yeah, I cut the trailer for our latest project in Premiere as well, and I didn't have nearly as many issues with that. But still, like, Premiere just is so fucking unpredictable sometimes, and like, I never had these crazy issues with crashing and all that. But still, just how smooth Final Cut is in comparison on this MacBook, is really wild. That is really pleasant. I'm really excited to work with it, even though, like, right now, like I said, I kind of don't have anything to do with it. I don't know, man. Like my YouTube plan does not really include like super edited fucking essays or anything like that. I know I like just having it for whatever school projects or trailers, whatever I need to do, right? I don't know, long term, I know I'm gonna have that one thing that I just need to fucking cut semi-professionally. But yeah, right now I don't have anything to do like a heavy edit on. If you have like ideas for this, I guess maybe this is stupid, but like, obviously everyone's gonna say like, oh, do a fucking Bayonetta 2 video, right? Like, something, it needs to be something that I can do like in a relatively, I don't know, dude. I want to get familiar with Final Cut, right? But I don't actually want to spend time making like a full video. It's really paradoxical. It's really great that Apple they have this bundle with mainly Final Cut and Logic, but there's like a bunch of other software they can use. That's like $200 for students. That is just ridiculous. That is ridiculous because like I like the Adobe Cloud, I paid more than those 200 for like the amount, like way more. It must have been like maybe like 400, you know, in that ballpark. Because like you have to pay like a severance fee as well if you end your subscription early. Yeah, for that whole time that I was using Final Cut, I paid more than I'm gonna be paying for Logic Plus. Sorry, I said Final Cut. I meant for Adobe software. For the Adobe Cloud, I paid more to use that for like a year and a half than I will to have like Logic and Final Cut forever. That's wild. Now at the same time, there's like rumors. There's like Apple, I think they filed a patent that includes sort of the possibility of a subscription-based version of Final Cut. I don't know what that's about. I hope it's not like a forced subscription. I hope there's still the option to just have it, just own it, right? Like the you know, the one sort of piece of speculation that I always read is that they may do like a cloud version of Final Cut or something for iPad or something like that, right? I'd be okay with that. You know, I still really want an iPad. Like, I had this idea in my head that maybe I'll just make an iPad my laptop. I'm really glad I didn't do that retrospectively. But still, like, you know, taking notes and shit would be really cool. I do love, like, as a designer, just, like, making scribbles and taking notes and, like, explaining my ideas that way. That's really lit. But obviously, an iPad is not a fucking computer, you know, it's not a legit computer. And even a Mac, I guess this is where I'll transition. So, like, I explain my reasons, right? And, like, just generally the software experience is kind of what I expected. But yeah, what is the experience like of being on Mac, right? I just alluded to, well, a Mac is a real computer, but even then, there's still some shit that's weird, right? That, like, just weird limitations based on the fact that Mac just is not the standard, like Windows is, you know? On my girlfriend's new laptop, I was trying to install Windows the other day, and I could just not fucking create a bootable drive from Mac for Windows. It was just not fucking possible. There's ways to do it that are like really dumb and complicated. I could not do it like the easy way at all. And we borrowed her roommate's laptop, her Windows laptop, to do it there instead. It took like 5 minutes. You know? That's stupid. And there's just a bunch of other weird shit. Like I mentioned the streaming software, both Streamlabs and regular OBS are kind of janky on Mac. I mean, I'm not sure. I did get like a lot of dropped frames on my last couple streams. I'm not sure if it's the Mac, if it's OBS, if it's just my internet. I'm pretty sure it's just my internet, but I don't know. I know I'm gonna need a Windows PC again eventually, for a lot of reasons. And one of those is streaming, right? Like I just know streaming on Windows just makes a lot more sense, especially because you have more options with capture cards as well. The Elgato 4K 60 Pro S Plus, whatever it's called. That's like the big boy capture card right now that I really want, and it only works with Windows. And like, yeah, like with OBS, it's like really weird to capture desktop audio on Mac. You can do it once you have it set up, it's fine. But it's weird. And just generally, on Streamlabs, for some reason, the preview window was like really blurry on Mac. And in regular OBS, it kind of stutters a little bit, the preview window, even though the actual stream is fine. So that's like kind of slightly concerning, right? But neither is really a huge deal. I think the last couple streams I did were actually fine. And they really benefit, like I said, from the lack of noise. I hope when I build a PC, I can make it like... Obviously, it's not going to be as quiet as the MacBook, but I think the volume is like going to be consistent enough that it's easy to drown out. But the plan really is that, you know, if I get the PC, once I get the Windows PC, it's really just gonna be for streaming, for playing games, and for making games. That's it. All my fucking other work, I'm just gonna keep doing on the MacBook. Because it's portable, it's like, it's universal, I can like carry it around, you know, like I can consistently work on the same device. And just all my editing software is on that, right? Like I'm gonna do my presentations on there, I'm gonna write shit on there. It's so liberating, honestly, to have this like tiny, super light laptop just always at your fingertips. I've been getting into like writing reviews for games again lately, and I honestly, huge underrated reason for that is just because the MacBook is so flexible. I can just fucking plop my ass down in my bed and like just hammer out some words, or at work, you know. It's legitimately really fun. And just that alone has made it super worth it. But the Mac OS itself, you know, there's a lot of weird things. Like, you have to get used to the different keys a little bit, like, just the keys being labeled different. I actually got a new mechanical keyboard. Both because I, like, needed more space on my desk. I got a 65% keyboard. So without the, that whole block of like fucking page up, page... Well, I mean, I still have page... I don't even know what fucking keys I'm missing, honestly. Like, those TKL keyboards are kind of pointless now, the more I'm thinking about it, honestly. Yeah, just look into... Maybe I should do a fucking video on mechanical keyboards, actually. That would be pretty fun, probably. But yeah... so I needed more space on the desk, but also I wanted a keyboard that has Mac fucking labeled keys, right? And this one does. It's the Keychron K6 for anyone who's curious. Wait, I'll show you what it sounds like actually. Because why not? Wait, I need to turn it off. Ugh. Wait, yeah, it's off. Okay. It's so fucking satisfying. It's the fucking best. Okay. The fuck was I talking about? Yeah, you gotta get used to the key labels, like command, the shortcuts, right? You know, weirdly enough, you can change the shortcuts, right? You can make them basically exactly like Windows in terms of the positions. But I realized, like command being sort of your main key instead of control. And it's like basically right next to the spacebar where Alt would be. Yeah, like on Windows it's Control, Windows key, Alt, right? And then spacebar. And like hitting Command C to copy, for example, is actually way more intuitive than Control C. Like just in terms of the position of your fingers, it makes a lot more sense. And it's something you don't really appreciate until you have to get kind of used to it. That's the thing, like, yeah, I realized, oh, I can change this, but the more I realized pretty quickly I could change it, right? But very quickly I didn't want to. Very quickly I was like, you know what, this is actually fine. And that's kind of the experience with Mac in general. Like, there's all these weird little quirks that kind of put you off at first. But the more you actually use it, the more it starts making sense. I actually made like a little thread on Twitter, sort of going into my experience with Mac. I'm looking at it to help me remember some stuff. Well, I mean, one thing that I thought was really strange was just how quitting applications and like quitting Windows and shit worked. Because like basically, like you still have the, just like in Windows, you have minimize, you have maximize, and you have the quit thing, right? But the little X, generally it only quits the current instance that you're running. It like closes that window, but the application itself is still open. Because Mac OS is like very much built on the idea that everything is like always kind of running, and that because of that the system is very fast. And that's why one of the first things you learn is, oh, I should actually just put it to sleep. I should not turn the MacBook off at all. Unless you were like literally not using it for a week or something like that, right? Which, I mean, realistically that's not gonna happen, right? But yeah, like it's actually better for the laptop to just always keep it running, because that keeps the battery moving. It's better for battery health. And when you put the system to sleep instead of turning it off, you give the system an opportunity to like sort of refresh itself. That's something that I was so not used to, right? Just that idea. And then yeah, just like I said with the Windows, you know, the applications, not Windows, the operating system, the applications on Mac, you'll get very used to the idea of Command Qing and Command W. Like Command W to close the current window, the current instance, or Command Q to quit the program entirely. And then, yeah, like I said, I helped my girlfriend with her laptop the other day, and just being back on Windows for like that amount of time was like so weird already. Like, I could not get used to the fact that I didn't have those universal shortcuts, like the Command Q that literally works with every single application. The level of control and speed that you have over everything on Mac is insane. And like, Like, it's weird because, with Mac, or with Apple in general, there's this sort of reputation or this idea that they're very user-friendly and like very easy to understand and very easy to get into, and they kind of like, it's to the point where they hide a lot of stuff from you, or they basically say, yeah, you don't need to worry about all these options, we're just gonna handle it for you. And that's like true to a certain extent. But I was also surprised just how many options they do give you on a very surface level, right? Like, I feel like a lot of shit on Mac OS is way less buried than it is on Windows. Like, there's some stuff, you go to, like, the Finder, which is, like, Basic Explorer, right? And, like, it doesn't, by default, it doesn't show you, the exact file path that you're on. And that's stupid, right? Like, that's very confusing, and generally you get the sense that all the folders are, like, weirdly hidden, and you don't know where anything is, and it's very fucking disorienting, like, at first. It's very scary as a Windows fucking pleb, as I have been my whole life. What the fuck is this? Yeah, oh, that's my Slippy folder. Yeah, you can play fucking Melee on Mac, that's fucking sick. So yeah, but you can, like, the file path, you can just turn it on, and you see it, and, like, it's actually, once you do, it ends up being way more intuitive than Windows as well. Because, like, just the normal Finder window, all the files are arranged, like, as a tree, instead of, like, you can still, I think, yeah, I can double-click a folder, and then I just get the window just turns into that folder, just like Windows, but it can also just display everything as like a tree, where, like, subfolders just kind of keep branching off, and it's all part of the same window. It's a lot more digestible. And yeah, like, in the preferences, they give you so many weird little options to, like, tweak every fucking minute part of the experience to your liking. Just like, even the way, the dock, right, that all your applications are on. To me, as someone who was always jealous of all the fucking rich asshole kids in school that had Macs, the dock was like the most fucking flashy, like, eye candy element. And I think, it's probably a little on purpose, right? Like, that, like, obviously the system looks nice to look nice, right? But it's also, they're also doing it to make it look unique, so that it stands out, so that it immediately pops, like, for a Windows user. And, like, just the fact that you can, like, choose the exact kind of animations that you want, and how heavy you want the animations to be, and, like, the size and everything. Like, it's the kind of level of detail that you don't really have on Windows generally. Like, you do get options on Windows, like, I'm not saying that, but, like, it's really hard to, like, boil it down to specific examples. But yeah, I don't know, like, I just got this distinct sense that, oh, like, yeah, like, see, what's also interesting is that, for a lot of the stuff that Mac doesn't have, there's always some kind of fucking third-party, application or extension or something. Like, by default, for example, if you have an Ethernet cable connected to your MacBook, with, like, an adapter or something, it's not really shown to you in the status bar, but you can add just an application for that, and, like, it does the exact same thing, right? Yeah, you can, like, do a different fucking version of Alt-Tab on Mac from the one that's in there by default. You can do, like, a window snap thing that's, like, kind of like Windows. That I was, like, missing a lot when I first started using Mac. But again, like, the fact that someone, like, I don't know, I get this impression that the Mac community is, like, so tightly knit, and, like, they're always trying to, like, improve the experience in this very holistic kind of way. It's very interesting. Like, it seems way less sort of scattered and like random than what you see in Windows. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just something you have to see it to believe it. And I realize that sounds like fucking Apple brainworms and just the fucking Apple indoctrination, right? But oh yeah. See, I got the stupid ass Magic Mouse as well. That's how you know my brain is broken. But I actually like it. I actually do like it. Obviously, I wouldn't play games with it, but like just like the degree of control that you have, like even just with scrolling, feels way more natural to me than with the scroll wheel. I had this one experience in Final Cut where I was trying to tweak some numbers, right? Like you have like one of those little selection windows where you can make a number go up and down, and you can obviously on a normal mouse you would just use the scroll wheel to go up like single digits, but like with the Magic Mouse, because it's touch, I felt like the degree of control I had was way finer and way more precise. And just like being able to scroll not just sideways as well with the Magic Mouse, but also just like smoothly scroll all over a page with like your finger. You know, just like it just moves one-to-one where your finger's moving. That's a lit. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend it. I like it, and like the ergonomics for me are not that bad even. Like, I could see if you have huge hands that maybe it's terrible. But for me, like it was fine when I first got it, and then I even you can get like these weird little grips on the sides that make it a little more comfortable to hold as well, and I got those and I like it. Let's see, what's like another thing I want to talk with Mac. I guess, you know, so this is the M1 MacBook Pro. I think for most people, the MacBook Air will be fine. I'd say the Pro is definitely a little bit overpriced. The Pro, the main thing really that it adds is the fan, right? So that it can run at peak performance for more sustained periods of time, right? If you're like doing Final Cut or something on the MacBook Air, it will have to throttle at some point, right? Whereas on the Pro, that's not gonna be the case. It's not gonna slow down the whole system, and that was the reason why I went with it, right? I wanted the fan. I wanted to have like the security that the system is not gonna just randomly slow down. But for that, you're paying for that and like a slightly brighter screen and a bigger trackpad. And I think the touch bar, you're paying like $300. I think that's clearly overpriced, but was still worth it for me. But generally, yeah. So the M1 MacBook, M1 MacBooks, and just the Mac Mini, I guess by extension, the performance is just so clean and so stable, and the battery is so fucking insane. Where you can straight up just use the thing for a whole ass day and like lose 20% or something. It's fucking wild. And just like you really feel it, like for those who are not in the know, the M1 Macs and MacBooks, whatever, they're basically changing to Apple developed chips. So previous Macs used Intel processors, and now they're using hardware that's very similar to what's in the iPhone. And because Apple have so much fine control over just what it is, right? The software experience is very optimized for that. And that results in just insane fucking battery life and very smooth performance. And all the old apps are still supported via emulation. And like Discord, for example, is one app that runs with emulation. It's not been converted yet into like a legit M1 Mac app. And you do kind of feel it. It feels like just a lot of the transitions feel a little bit less smooth than what you would get in like Safari, for example. But still, it's like, it's not bad at all. And yeah, like when you do have sort of this like a native app like Logic Pro, what I'm using right now, it's just a level of smoothness that I'm not used to from a PC experience at all. And that's fucking wild. I keep saying that's fucking wild. I should stop doing that. And like that really just makes like if you need a laptop, the Macs are just such a no-brainer. And I've seen like a bunch of videos sort of where that exact talking point gets like reiterated. Like there was this one guy who's a laptop reviewer, and he was like, yeah, I feel like if I don't tell you this in every fucking review that you should just get a MacBook, I feel like I'm not being honest. You know, I feel like it's just such an obvious choice. Now obviously you're gonna have some limitations, right? Like primarily with games, right? Right now you can't install Windows to the new Macs. I think there's like fucking hacky ways to do it, but like obviously you shouldn't do that. It's probably a bad idea in the long run. There's ways to like convert apps to run, like Windows apps to run on the new Macs. And I've messed around with it and it kind of worked. Like the one really good experience I had with that is with Guilty Gear Plus R. But it was like, it's like paid software, and it's like kind of weird and stupid, and like I wouldn't really recommend it. I think I'm just gonna save that for when I get a PC again. I'll save legit PC gaming for that. But like I think for emulation, the performance is like surprisingly good. If you care about emulators, you know, I don't really, but it's good enough for Melee. Like you can play Melee online on this. And really, if you have that, do you need anything else? I don't think so. Oh yeah, see, one thing I kind of forgot to mention, like, one thing you'll see a lot when you first get into the Mac is like instructions and tutorials that will tell you to use the terminal. The terminal is basically the Mac version of the Windows, what the fuck was it called? The command line, right? It's kind of like that. But like, it really feels like, kind of like what I was saying earlier with like, you know, the tight-knitness of the Mac community and like, just sharing of information and like figuring out workarounds and stuff. If it kind of reinforces that as well, right? Like, there's all these weird little things you can do to make the system do exactly what you want with these commands that are obviously, they're not obvious, right? Like, you're not gonna just know them. You do have to look them up. But it is really fucking interesting that, for example, you can make the dock. You can, like, have it set so that it, like, disappears by itself. And you need to, like, hover over to the edge of the screen to make it appear again. That's, like, a normal option, just in macOS and the preferences. But then you can tweak the speed of that with a terminal command. And that kind of blew my mind that, like, that exists in the system for you to mess with. So if you're coming from Windows to Mac, yes, there's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, and there's gonna be a lot of shit that you want to tweak, and there's a lot of fucking videos out there to like help you get started with that. But I think honestly, once you're over the hump, like it's a pretty small hump, and then once you're over it, it's like so fucking like I can't even fucking begin to describe it. It's such a pleasant experience with the computer in a way that I've never had before, honestly. And yeah, like, I really do think, like, Macs in the past, they were a little bit harder to recommend, you know, they were pretty expensive sometimes, and, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, honestly, I mean, I paid $1,500 for this, and like I said, the $300 extra compared to the Air, felt a little bit like a ripoff. Also, I went with the 16GB version, and I did not get the big hard drive. 16GB of RAM, and I only got 256GB of storage. I'm sorry, I'm like getting really sleepy. So the storage, that is one thing I'm a little bit concerned about, like, short term. I think long term, I'll fucking just be dumping all my shit on an SSD this time anyway, because SSDs are a little more, you know, they hopefully an SSD would have withstood the damage that I did to my old ass mechanical hard drive that I broke. Like, literally, I will never buy a mechanical hard drive ever again. Ever. Honestly. Oh, dude. Anyway. So long term, that's fine. And, like, short term, I have not really had storage issues at all. Yeah, I think the problem is just you're paying a lot of fucking money for the storage, honestly, if you're upgrading the storage on your Mac. It doesn't really seem worth it. When you could just fucking carry an SD card or something with you. Yeah. That's the thing, if you're, like, thinking about switching, to Mac, or, like, getting a Mac, if you, like, yeah, like I said, if you need something to work with on the go, there's just no fucking other option, honestly. I do think, if you have certain needs, if you're a game developer, for example, like me, you really do need a Windows PC. If you're a streamer, I think you do need a Windows PC, kind of. But, like, if you're a video editor, primarily, for example, like, even if you do stream, right, depends on how seriously you take it. I think long-term, yes, a Windows PC just makes more sense with that. But, like, you can still stream on a Mac, you know, it's not impossible. Works fine in my experience. I have not had issues, and in fact, it's been better than the streaming experience on my Windows laptop for, like, sort of just hardware factors, right? Yeah, the thing is just whisper quiet, doesn't get hot, battery lasts fucking forever. I'm using it. Oh my god, dude. Underrated thing is just having a USB-C power supply, and then my phone is USB-C as well, so I can, I only need that one fucking brick with me and that one fucking cable, and that's it. And then at home, I got a new monitor, a 4K monitor, that has USB-C input. So I can connect the MacBook to the monitor, and that will output the image and the sound, and it will charge the computer, and it immediately hooks up to, like, my keyboard and all that. That is so fucking nuts to me, just how seamless that works now. I used to also use my old laptop as a desktop, right? And I like, whenever I moved from sort of on the go to at home, I would always have to, like, plug in a million cables and, like, fiddle with all the stupid bullshit. It was just the most frustrating thing ever. And just now, not having to worry anymore, it's like, it's the best. It's the best. I think it's, yeah, you cannot overstate, I think, how important it is to have, like, a pleasant work environment, you know? You want to, like, create an environment for yourself where you actually want to be productive and want to work. And I think I'm at that point now, and I'm pretty excited to do shit, you know? On the topic of doing things, I think, I'm gonna go to bed. I hope this was kind of informative. I hope this is kind of interesting. Why do my fucking videos, or podcasts, whatever, always turn out so fucking long? Oh, I don't know. This should have been so fast. This should have been so fast. I'll link that thread that I did as well. If you're like, if you need advice, if you are switching to Mac or something. I mean, I assume like most of you probably won't, right? Like it's a pretty big commitment. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I'm happy with the noise. I'm happy with just the portability. Very happy with the software. Yeah. I'm thinking I still need to do the Game of the Year thing. I have my list like assembled now. I could do it. There's nothing really standing in the way anymore. I'm just like wondering about like timing, what the best timing for it is, and like how I'm gonna line up with my other topics that I want to talk about. I came up with another topic today that might be good. See, I thought I did the Mac thing today because I thought it's like really easy and like not gonna take long, and like it took like an hour now. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace.